Live from Subset Studios, it's the Randy Tayler Show!
Good evening and welcome to the show. Tonight on the Randy Tayler Show we have a very special guest. Some of you might be familiar with certain documentary films that came out more than 20 years ago. They're now part of our pop culture, and one of those icons is going to be our guest tonight. Why don't we go ahead and roll a clip just to give you an example of who's going to be on the show.
Yeah, all right, fine. Let's go.
Luke, tell Uncle if he gets a translator, be sure it speaks bocce.
Doesn't look like we have much of a choice, but I'll remind him.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause for Mr. Luke Skywalker. Luke.
How's it going?
Great to have you on the show. Oh, well, it's been more than 15 years, I think, since we've last seen you. I think what is the main question on everyone's mind is, what has Luke been up to? Where'd you go? What are you doing now?
Well, since we did the films with George, Chewbacca and I have been, we've been funding a nonprofit organization called Let's Give Him a Hand Foundation, which we're proud to say has helped children throughout the galaxy. We're giving mechanical hands away to kids who've lost one or need a third.
That's a true example of generosity. I guess there's a great misconception with regard to these films. A lot of people don't know that they're documentaries. They think that they're fictitious. That they're a construct of George Lucas's imagination.
Sure, yeah, that's one. A lot of people think that, you know, it's this, it's Hollywood fantasy, you know. But what happened was George approached us. He had just left Southern Cal and was interested, he said, in doing these cinema verite, in-your-face, you know, style documentaries, and asked if he could join us on one of our mishaps, you know, and we said, sure, you know, come along. And fortunately, for the benefit of everybody, it became very profitable.
Certainly did. And as I understand it, revenues from these movies actually helped to fund the rebellion.
Right, yeah, especially Star Wars, which was the most profitable of the three. For example, in Empire, we call it simply Empire, the entire ice bath on Hoth was completely funded by profits that were allocated from the film.
Wow.
You know, those big satellites that we detected spy-waves, those aren't cheap, you know.
Yeah.
Top of the line.
Certainly not. Those are expensive. Is it fair to say then, Luke, that the money was the driving force behind your adventures?
Oh, no, not in the least bit. Of course, you know, that was, I mean, a benefit. We were all compensated monetarily, and, you know, that was nice. But we were out saving the people. Our purpose was one, to bring peace, justice to those in need. I mean, you saw those guys. They were bad guys.
Yeah.
And so we were just trying to help those who couldn't help themselves.
Right. You helped yourself to a kiss from your sister. That has raised an eyebrow or two here on Earth. We're not too keen on that. What do you have to say about that?
You're, of course, making reference to Empire again. Well, you know, we've always been affectionate in my family.
Sure.
Except for Dad, of course. But it was always, we didn't even know at the time, to be honest, that we were sisters. I kind of had an inkling.
Brother and sister.
Right.
Right. Now, was there any hint, like a tremor in the Force? I know I had a tremor in my stomach watching, you know.
No, not really, because, you know, at that moment, the Force hadn't been fully developed in me. Sure, there were some also in my stomach, but it was, you know, it was like kissing any other girl.
Isn't it true, though, that Tatooine is known as the West Virginia of the galaxy? It's no unusual thing to find kissing cousins, so to speak. Is that right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Right. So that makes it okay. And it's true that the videos are still on sale today. Anyone that wants to can purchase them.
That's correct, yeah. Anybody who wants to purchase the films can do so. The old classic, Star Wars, and of course the sequel, Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, can be bought with 3 monthly installments of $14.95.
Wow. Wow. Great price.
You can't beat that with a stick. or a lightsaber.
People accuse you of being a murderer. How do you deal with that?
You know, wherever you go, Randy, people are going to attack you. But of course, I'm not a murderer. I am a savior of the people. I am one going out and you know, like I said, helping people who find themselves in a situation where they're being oppressed, they're being pushed upon.
And as a savior of the people, how many people, Luke, would you say that you personally have killed?
Well, I think that's an unfair question. Just because I really don't think I've killed, you know, to be, not few.
So you don't know how many? You've lost count.
No. I mean, I might have maimed a few, but you know, they were never hurt.
Sure, Luke. Why don't we go on? The Death Star. Your moment in the sun. Am I correct?
Yes.
You were a hero. The Death Star is the Empire's last bastion of defense. You destroyed it single-handedly.
Well, I did have some help, but it was mostly me.
It was you. Killed on the order of millions of people, possibly including women and children. How have you dealt with the guilt when you think about the families that were destroyed that day?
Well, you have to remember, you know, I don't think that Esther had any women and children on board. I mean, how could the Empire possibly benefit from having, you know, a bunch of, you know, little wee stormtroopers running around? These, you know, I think it was minimally manned.
What about the families of those that did work there? The crew members that were serving their empire, their families, their orphaned children, their widowed wives, their masterless pets. What about them?
Well, you know, I'm not sure, but I think most people have to be single to fight.
Luke, you'll pardon me for asking this. Are you for the light side or for the dark side?
What kind of question is that? Of course I'm for the light side. Okay, did you watch the film? I mean, he's wearing black, a black helmet. You can't even see his face.
Right.
Okay, I'm wearing this little white tunic. You know, it's the sun is they're
right. And in the last film, you also, however, are wearing black.
Not by choice.
Right. Okay.
I had just dirtied something.
Your soul, perhaps. No, I'm sorry, Luke. That's unfair. I don't mean for these questions to antagonize you. We do have another clip that we'd like to show right now, if that's all right with you. This is from the last film. This is the final showdown with your father. Why don't we go ahead and roll that right now?
You cannot hide forever, Luke.
He's intimidating.
I will not fight.
He's actually taller in person.
Really?
Give yourself to the dark side. It is the only way
And you're there,
to save your friend.
hiding in the shadows.
Yes.
Well, I'm not so much hiding.
Betray you. Your feelings for them are strong, especially for sister.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate, that moment. Didn't see that one coming.
Your feelings have now betrayed her too. Obi-Wan was wise to hide her from me. Now his failure is complete. If you will not turn to the dark side, then perhaps she will.
Ooh. A little angry.
Yeah. That was a clip of, fair to say, Luke Skywalker, Jedi Master, hiding from his daddy. Is that fair to say?
No, you make it sound like I'm thinking of fraidy cat or something.
Okay, you're not a fraidy cat, but you are indeed a murderer.
I am not. I'm nor a fraidy cat nor a murderer.
But you have killed people.
I haven't killed.
without even the murder question, you did cut off your father's hand.
He cut mine off first!
So that makes it okay. It's eye for eye, tooth for a tooth. Is that how it goes?
No, you have to understand that there was a lot of pressure on me.
And isn't it true, Luke, that your motto in this life, when the going gets tough, use force? Isn't that what you always said?
Use the force. Use the force. You make it sound like I'm this big, high and mighty kind of pushover.
So you're not. You're just an average, run-of-the-mill Joe who has killed millions of people, including his father.
You know, I don't have to take this kind of crap from you.
Luke, please. Put that down. And we're back. We'd like to thank Mr. Luke Skywalker for being on the show, and we wish him many successes in the future. We ask that you please join us next week on the Randy Tayler Show.